Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into, you guessed it, the name Daniel. You mentioned you're about to meet a Daniel, right, for like a really important job interview. And you're kind of curious about, the name's history, like what it all means, maybe even like what it might tell you about this person you're about to meet.
Yeah, it's really fascinating how a name can be so much more than just a name. It could be like a window into history, culture too, even psychology, if you think about it.
Okay, so let's unpack Daniel. It comes from the Hebrew Daniel, right? And it means God is my judge. Whoa, right? Like right off the bat, we're dealing with some pretty heavy stuff here. Divine accountability, justice, like a higher power kind of thing. It's not exactly your like typical small talk material.
No, not really. But what's interesting is how that whole judgment thing, it isn't really about like punishment. You know what I mean? It's more about discernment. Wisdom, too, recognizing like a higher authority. You could almost think of it like, well, someone named Daniel might be more likely to really think things through, carefully weigh choices, consider like the bigger picture.
So maybe this Daniel you're about to meet, maybe he's going to be like super insightful, perceptive too, maybe in ways that'll surprise you. I mean, his name's been around for over 2,000 years. That's older than a lot of things. Makes you think about how a name can stick around that long and still be like so popular today.
Absolutely. The name, well, it first popped up, like gained prominence in those really ancient Hebrew texts, like in the Old Testament, of course. Then it spread through, well, Christianity and Islam too. And eventually it became super popular in Europe and then, well, pretty much everywhere around the world.
Wow. So we're talking about a name that's basically transcended cultures and religions. And speaking of the Old Testament, we can't forget about the OG Daniel, right? The biblical Daniel, the guy who survived, the lion's den. It's a pretty iconic story. That takes some serious faith, right? And resilience, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The biblical Daniel, he's a key figure here. He's all about that, like unwavering faith, resilience. And he's got this deep connection to, well, a higher power. And we can't forget about his ability to interpret dreams. That adds like a whole other layer to the name, right? Bit of mysticism, spiritual insight too.
Hold on, back up a sec.
Yeah.
His ability to interpret dreams. Now that is really interesting. It's not just about, being a good guy or whatever. It's about a certain kind of wisdom, the ability to like see beyond what's right there on the surface. So you requested this whole deep dive because you're meeting this Daniel for a job. And well, Daniel, as a dream interpreter, it makes me think about like modern psychology, how we're always trying to understand the subconscious.
It's pretty fascinating how these ancient ideas about dreams and prophecy and all that, well, they still resonate today. We're still trying to unlock the secrets of, the human mind, understand how our subconscious influences our thoughts and actions and everything.
Okay, so we've got wisdom, resilience, a strong moral compass. I'm kind of sensing a theme here. It's like the name Daniel kind of sets a certain standard. And people named Daniel, they often rise to meet it. I mean, how many Daniels do you know who are like loud and boisterous party animals?
Not many, huh? It's more like a calm presence, steady too. Think about it. It's that thread of intelligence, loyalty, and certain like quiet strength.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's not just a Western name either. You see versions of Daniel all over the place, like Danielle in Italy, Daniel in Russia, Daniel in Arabic. It's like the core meaning of the name, it transcends language and culture.
That's what's so striking. Even with all the variations, like the gravitas stays. Daniel or Daniel, there's this weight to the name, like it carries this a sense of history and meaning.
Okay, so let's get a little mystical here. Numerology associates Daniel with the number 8. So what's the big deal with the number 8?
Well, the number 8, it's all about ambition, resilience too, and leadership, which, hey, fits right in with everything we've been talking about. You think about all the successful Daniels they probably have that number 8 energy, driven, focused, determined to achieve.
So it's not just about lucky number 7, huh?
Yeah.
8 is where it's at. But wait, there's more. I'm sensing a connection to astrology here. Am I right?
You are. If we connect that number 8 to astrology, it's often linked with Capricorn. Disciplined, determined, wise, it all lines up perfectly. It's like these different systems are all painting a very similar picture of a Daniel.
Whoa, it's like a cosmic conspiracy to create awesome Daniels. But it's not all numbers and stars, right? There are even colors associated with the name, too. Blue and green. I love color symbolism. Tell me more about that.
Well, blue It represents trustworthiness, calmness,
Yeah.
and loyalty too. And green symbolizes growth, balance, harmony, which again emphasizes the themes of peace and resilience we've been talking about.
It's like a whole color palette for a balanced and trustworthy person. But let's be honest, it's not all ancient history and mystical stuff.
Right.
Daniel is, well, it's everywhere in pop culture.
Absolutely, and we often see those same traits reflected in fictional Daniels too.
Yeah.
Take Daniel Deronda from George Eliot's novel. He's a super empathetic and curious character, really aware of like different cultures. And then you've got Daniel LaRusso from The Karate Kid. Talk about resilience and moral strength, too. You know, I always loved Daniel LaRusso from The Karate Kid, the total underdog, never gave up. He made me think about, you know, the power of resilience. I've tried to embrace that in my own life. Do you have any, like, favorite Daniel characters?
Oh, for sure. Daniel LaRusso is a classic. He's the kid who, like, stands up to bullies, faces all this adversity, but he's got courage, you know, determination. And through it all, he always tries to do the right thing. It's something a lot of people connect with, that underdog spirit.
It's like these characters, even though they're made up, they're tapping into something like universal about the name. They represent that potential for greatness, you know, the ability to overcome all kinds of obstacles and actually make a difference in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are countless others, like just tons of examples. They all demonstrate how Daniel is linked to these characters who are intelligent, persistent, and they have integrity. It's almost like writers and filmmakers, they can't resist giving those qualities to characters named, well, Daniel. It's like the name sets this expectation. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about like real life Daniels, the ones making a difference in the world today.
Great idea.
Yeah.
It's important to see how this name, how it resonates in our world, you know, today. And trust me, there's no shortage of inspiring Daniels out there.
Okay, so first up, we've got Daniel Radcliffe. Right. I mean, he rose to fame as Harry Potter, the boy wizard, captured the hearts of, well, pretty much everyone. It's pretty cool to see how he's used his fame to, you know, to advocate for things he believes in and challenge like the societal norms too.
And he's not afraid to use his voice, right, to speak out against injustice, inequality too. And, you know, he's a talented actor, not afraid to take risks, push himself creatively.
And then there's Daniel Craig, right? He brought this whole new level of intensity and depth to James Bond. Like he really embodies that blend of strength, intelligence, and a little bit of vulnerability too. And you know, Daniel seemed to have that.
Yeah, for sure. He brought this grit, a realism to the role too. Made Bond more human, more relatable, I think. And he definitely brought a certain gravitas, you know?
Yeah.
Made him more than just a smooth secret agent.
And we can't forget Daniel Day-Lewis, right? One of the most respected actors, like, ever. His dedication to his craft, the way he disappears into these roles, it's a testament to the depth and complexity you often see with the name.
He's known for, like, his intense preparation. You know, he immerses himself in the character's life, their world. He's a true artist, dedicated to his craft, and he always strives for excellence.
And it's not just, you know, the entertainment world either. Daniel Kahneman, right? He's a Nobel Prize-winning psychologist, and he's made huge contributions to understanding human behavior, decision-making too.
Yeah, his work has like challenged all that conventional wisdom. You know, it's forced us to rethink how we approach risk, choice, and even happiness. He's a perfect example of how Daniels often have, well, a really sharp mind and that drive to push those boundaries.
And don't forget the Daniel Barenboim, the renowned pianist and conductor. He's dedicated his life to peace and understanding through music.
He's a true visionary. Uses his art to bridge cultural divides and inspire hope too. His work reminds us that Daniels can be, you know, forces for positive change, real change.
It's so inspiring to see how all these people, each in their own way, really embody what we think about with the name, you know, Daniel, that intelligence, integrity, resilience, and that deep commitment to making a real difference in the world.
They're living proof that, well, a name might not be destiny, but it can definitely be a source of inspiration, a guiding force, you know, in shaping a life of purpose and meaning.
It's like they're carrying the torch for all the Daniels who came before them, adding their own unique contributions to the story of this remarkable name.
And that legacy keeps going. It evolves, you
Yeah.
know, as new Daniels come along, each with their own stories to tell, their own paths to forge. It's amazing, the power of a name. It connects us to the past, inspires us in the present, and it shapes the future in ways we can only imagine.
This has been incredible. We've explored the historical roots, the symbolism too, the cultural impact, and we even met some amazing people who bear this timeless name. But our deep dive into Daniel isn't over yet.
Stay tuned for part 2. We'll go even deeper into Daniel. We'll explore numerology and astrology, look closer at how it's shown in literature and pop culture, and meet some more incredible people named Daniel, of course.
We'll see you back here soon for part 2 of our Daniel deep dive.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Daniel. In part 1, we explored the name's its history, its connection to like faith and wisdom, and how it's shown in religious texts, pop culture too.
Right. It's amazing how much we've already uncovered about this name.
Now we're going to take a closer look at some of the more fascinating details, the stuff that adds even more depth to this name, this enduring name.
I'm ready to go deeper. We talked about numerology and astrology, but I'm eager to hear more about how those systems connect to Daniel. You said that Daniel is linked to the number 8 in numerology. Can you tell me more about that? Like, what's the significance of 8?
Okay, so the number 8, it's all about ambition, power too, and material success, but it's also about balance and inner strength. It suggests that Daniels are, driven to achieve. They do great things, but they also have this strong inner foundation, keeps them grounded.
So it's not just about, outward success and all that. It's about having a strong moral compass too, kind of like the biblical Daniel, facing all those challenges, but staying true to his faith.
Exactly, and that's where the connection to Capricorn comes in astrology.
Yeah.
This sign, it's also associated with the number 8. And it's known for, discipline, being practical, ambition too, of course.
Yeah, Capricorns, they're often called the goats. The ones who climb to the top of the mountain, determined, resourceful, always striving for excellence. My best friend is a Capricorn, and she totally fits that description. Always reaching for the stars, never gives up.
It's a perfect fit. The numerology and the astrology, they create this multifaceted portrait of a Daniel, someone who's not just, ambitious, but also grounded, resilient, deeply principled, could be a great leader, or an entrepreneur, but they'd have a strong sense of ethics too, integrity for sure.
It's like these ancient systems are giving us clues about, personality traits and potential, paths for Daniel. It's almost like a blueprint for success.
And remember those colors we talked about, blue and green?
Yeah.
Well, they add another layer to this whole symbolic thing. Blue, representing, trustworthiness and calmness. It aligns perfectly with the wisdom and judgment, the discerning judgment we see with Daniel's.
And green, it symbolizes growth, balance too, harmony, which again reinforces those themes of resilience and peace woven into the name.
It's amazing how all these different elements, the numerology, the astrology, the colors, they converge, create this consistent picture of what Daniel represents. Like they're all telling the same story, but from different angles.
Okay, I'm starting to see how it all fits together. But let's shift gears a bit. Talk about how Daniel appears in literature, popular culture too. We mentioned a couple of examples before, but I'm sure there are tons more.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. Daniel has been like a favorite for writers and filmmakers forever, centuries, really. Yeah. It's like shorthand for a certain kind of character, intelligent, often introspective, and always able to rise to the occasion.
Well, like a literary archetype almost, kind of like the wise old man or the reluctant hero.
Yeah, exactly. One of the best examples is Daniel Dorana from George Eliot's novel. He's this complex character grappling with questions of identity, heritage too, social justice. He's not your typical hero. He's more thoughtful, compassionate, driven by this deep sense of empathy.
What's interesting about Doranda is that he's not afraid to challenge things, to fight for what he believes in, even if it means going against the grain. He's a true individual, but he also has this strong sense of responsibility to others.
And that's what makes him so compelling. He's not a warrior or a conqueror, but a man of intellect, conscience too. Someone who's constantly searching for understanding and trying to make a positive impact on the world.
And then you have Daniel LaRusso from The Karate Kid, totally different, but still embodying that core resilience and moral strength. He's the underdog, never gives up, the kid who faces bullies, adversity, but he does it with courage. And determination too. And
even with all the challenges, he always tries to do the right thing. He's a great role model for young people, especially, showing them that you don't have to be, the biggest or the strongest to succeed. You just need to have heart and never give up on your dreams.
It's like these characters, even the fictional ones, they're tapping into something about the name Daniel. They represent that potential for greatness.
Yeah.
The ability to overcome anything and make a real difference.
And let's not forget all the other Daniels we've seen in movies and books. Daniel Cleaver from Bridget Jones's Diary, Daniel Plainview from There Will Be Blood. They each add something new to our understanding of the name, showcasing its versatility, its enduring appeal too.
It's amazing how much a name can evoke so many emotions, associations. It's like a thread running through our collective consciousness, connecting us to stories, characters, even historical figures who've shaped our world.
It's a testament to how powerful names are.
Yeah,
their ability to transcend time and culture.
Okay, so we've explored the history, the symbolism, how it's used in the literature, pop culture too. But what about real life Daniels, the ones who are like out there making their mark on the world today? I'm curious about some of the notable ones.
That's a great point. It's key to see how this name is relevant in the world today. And trust me, there are tons of inspiring Daniels out there.
First, we have Daniel Radcliffe, right? I mean, he became famous as Harry Potter, the boy wizard. He won over millions, and it's really cool to see how he's using his fame to stand up for things he believes in and challenge norms, social norms.
He's not afraid to speak up against injustice, inequality, and he's a talented actor. He takes risks, pushes himself creatively.
And then there's Daniel Craig, right? He brought something new to James Bond, intensity, depth too. Yeah. He really embodies that blend of strength, intelligence, and even vulnerability makes Daniel so compelling.
Yeah, he brought a certain grit to the role, realism too. Made Bond more human, more relatable, and he brought a certain gravitas too.
Right.
Made him more than just a secret agent.
Daniel Day-Lewis too. He's often called one of the greatest actors ever. His dedication, the way he just disappears into roles. It's a testament to that depth and complexity that we often associate with the name.
He's known for like really intense preparation.
Yeah.
He immerses himself in the character, their world. He's a true artist, dedicated to his craft, and always striving for excellence.
And it's not just entertainment. Daniel Kahneman, he's a Nobel Prize winner, a psychologist, and he's really changed how we understand human behavior, decision making too.
His work it's challenged so much of what we thought we knew, forced us to rethink how we approach risk, choice, happiness too.
Yeah.
He's the perfect example of how Daniels often have that that sharp mind and that drive to push the boundaries.
And we can't forget about Daniel Barenboim. He's this renowned pianist and conductor. He's dedicated his life to peace and understanding
through music. He's a true visionary. He uses his art to like bridge those divides.
Yeah.
Cultural divides, and inspire hope too. His work reminds us that Daniels can be forces for good. Real change, positive change.
It's so inspiring to see how all these people, in their own way, they really embody what we think of with the name Daniel: intelligence, integrity, resilience, and that commitment to making a difference in the world.
They're living proof that a name, well, it might not be destiny, but it can be inspiring, a guiding force in shaping a life of purpose and meaning.
It's like they're carrying the torch for all the Daniels who came before, adding their own contributions to this legacy of this remarkable name.
And that legacy keeps evolving, as new Daniels come along, each with their own stories, their own paths to forge. It's really something. The power of a name, connecting us to the past, inspiring us in the present, and shaping the future in ways we can't even imagine.
This has been an incredible journey. We've looked at the historical roots, the symbolism too, the cultural impact, and we've even met some pretty amazing people who share this timeless name. But our deep dive into Daniel isn't over yet. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the name Daniel. We've covered so much, from the ancient history to its modern influence. But as always, there are a few more fascinating things to explore.
It's amazing how a name can lead to discussions about faith, identity, and even the core of who we are.
You're right. And speaking of faith, let's go back to the biblical Daniel for a sec. Remember how we talked about his ability to interpret dreams. It wasn't just about surviving the lions and all that. It was about prophecy, seeing the bigger picture. It adds this whole layer of mysticism to the name.
It's like having a sixth sense.
Yeah.
A heightened awareness of the forces at play in the world, and it's interesting how those elements of prophecy and dreams and all that, well, they tie into these themes of wisdom, spiritual insight. It's not just blind faith. It's about understanding the deeper meaning behind things, seeing patterns, connections, stuff that others miss.
It makes you wonder if there's a link between the name Daniel and intuition or insight. I mean, how many times have we heard stories about people named Daniel who have this this special gift, this unique understanding of the world?
That's a great point. Think about how many times Daniel has been used for characters who are visionaries or prophets or people who just seem to see things that others don't, and it's almost like the name itself. It carries this expectation of wisdom and insight.
Yeah, it's like when you hear a character's name named Daniel, you kind of expect them to be wise or insightful. It sets a certain tone, creates a sense of anticipation,
like a subtle signal to the reader or the viewer. This character, they might have the key to understanding the story on a deeper level.
And it's not just in stories. Think about all those real life Daniels we've talked about. Daniel Radcliffe using his platform to advocate for important causes. Daniel Kahneman, changing how we understand psychology. Daniel Barenboim promoting peace through music.
It really makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Right. Is it the name that shapes them, or are they drawn to the name because it resonates with something inside them?
Yeah.
Like a calling to fulfill some destiny. Like maybe they were meant to be a Daniel all along.
Oh, now we're getting deep. Which brings us to the question that's been at the heart of all of this: does a name really affect our destiny? Is there a connection between what we're called and the choices we make as we choose?
That's a question that people have been thinking about for a long time. There's no easy answer, but I think names do have power. They shape how others see us, and maybe even how we see ourselves.
It's true. Think about it. When you meet someone new and they say their name is Daniel, you might start making these assumptions about them without even realizing it, based on your own experiences or cultural stuff.
And those expectations, even if they're subtle, they can affect how people treat you. The opportunities they give you, or even the judgments they make.
But it's not just about how other people see us. I think there's something internal too when you grow up with a name like Daniel, a name with so much history, meaning cultural significance. It can influence how you see yourself, your goals, your values too.
it's like having this legacy to live up to.
Yeah.
Like a line of people who've done great things,
Mhm.
or made a real difference in the world. It can be inspiring, a reminder that you're part of something bigger than yourself.
So to bring it back to you, you're about to meet a Daniel for this job, and hopefully our deep dive has given you some things to think about, some insights into into what makes a Daniel tick. But in the end, it's important to remember that everyone's an individual.
Exactly. A name is it's just one piece
Uh-huh.
of the puzzle. It's the person who decides how to use those pieces, how to create their own unique identity.
Well said. It's been incredible exploring Daniel with you. We've gone from ancient history to modern psychology, from biblical prophecy to pop culture. We've seen how a name can be like a window into history, culture, the human experience.
It's a reminder that names are they're more than just labels. They're stories waiting to be told, connections waiting to be made, and legacies waiting to be carried on.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Daniel. We hope you've enjoyed it. And remember, whether you're a Daniel or not, we all have the power to shape our own destinies and make our mark on the world.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep discovering all the hidden depths.
Yeah.
All around you.
We'll see you on our next deep dive.